Yeah, so you were talking about that and how badly it went. Did it go back?
For me it was, just because when was the last time I saw you? Like,
I feel like it was Clash of Creators briefly
way.
and you were presenting.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like a proper...
No, and I feel like you probably shouldn't be presenting that because I was terrible.
No, but that's why you're so good. No, not because you're terrible. Not because you're terrible, but it's like...
Comedy
and like a bit of a shambles, but in a good way.
Yeah, and the worst thing they said to me was like, you can go to the bar all day. And I went, perfect. So by the end, there's
challenge
one clip
accepted.
it comes back and I'm not even there. It's just, I'm just gone. And they're like, cut back to Becky. She's not there. She's at the
bar. Do you know what? Sometimes, because most of the presenting stuff that I do is quite professional, like, and half the time there's always a bar. Like there's always people loving their life at the free bar, and then I'm there doing sort of the backstage presenting, and I'm just thinking, surely I could have one or two.
Yeah. Could you do presenting when you'd had a few?
I think so, but you know, when you'd get the fear later on, I'd be like,
oh, imagine watching that back.
Yeah, like, well, what did I say? Did I say anything?
Like, two eyes like looking this way.
Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't.
Yeah, no, it's
but
it's a nightmare.
I always talk about the fact that I'm scared of flying, right? So recently, my new thing is I will just drink straight whiskey but before the flight.
I saw that.
And on the flight also, yeah.
That's the best way to get through.
I know, but sometimes I feel guilty because it's, you know, them short haul flights that are like 2 hours long, right? And normally, and I've been doing them quite a few times recently. My friend she's getting married. She had a hen do, and you're on this 2 hour flight and there's loads of kids around and it's 6 a.m. And I'm there like, can I have a Jack Daniels, please, on the rocks? Yeah.
But then, like, people be like, she's on holiday, she's fine.
Exactly. But I make it known that I'm scared, because when it's takeoff, I'm there like my hands are shaking. Yeah, I really hate it.
But how come? Because I see you been like to America and everything.
I just force myself, honestly, to get on the flight. So good. But yeah, I've never enjoyed it.
Just the takeoff? Or
I think it's the whole experience, to be honest. I go through
baggage to the other side.
There's waves, so takeoff normally I'm a little bit nervous. Then once it sort of levels out, I'm fine. Yeah. But if they like the rumbling, the turbulence, and then like I'm there like, get me another drink.
Seatbelt sign comes on, you're like, well, I'll sit then.
No, that's me. But you know, I was saying to my friend the other day, I actually prefer when it's really bad turbulence, because I'm just like, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Right. Not the half-assed little rumblings. Yeah, I'd rather it be smooth, or obviously I don't want turbulence. But okay, I'm like, commit.
I'll be like, next time we're on, they'll be like, just do a spin for Els.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about when we first met, and it was at Sidemen Tinder.
I was so scared of you.
Why were you scared of me?
I don't know. I think I was just scared of the whole experience, because that was the day I met Lauren.
I think we all met. Like, I didn't know anyone that day.
There was someone else sitting next to you on your
so there was she blonde?
Yeah, who was that?
I can't remember her name. I'm really sorry, but she'd previously been on a date with Ethan, so that's why it was awkward.
Got it.
But that's all I know. I don't know if she did YouTube or anything. But I kind of went in because I was still quite newly doing YouTube at this point.
Yeah, you were, weren't you?
And
you knew JJ, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew JJ, and I knew at this point I knew Cal Freezy and Ethan and Toby as well. Mm-hmm. But this is my first time doing like something with the Sidemen. But we were all upstairs just waiting, and they put us all together, and I was really calm. I was just like, cool, it's fine.
That's why you were intimidating, is because you were so chill, and we were all like, oh my God.
And then everyone else made me nervous, because then you were all so nervous about it.
We were so scared.
Chi was there as well.
She was also so calm, because she hates men. So she was just like...
maybe that's what me and her have in common, because I also hate men.
She was like, I don't even... Why am I here? Why am I here? And I was like, Chi, it's going to be okay. This is good for your career.
I remember you and Chi you'd done the Sidemen Dragon's Den thing.
Before.
Yeah, so you were talking about that and how badly it went. Did it go back?
For me, it was just because I came up with the idea like 2 days before.
Right. Was it you and who did you do it with?
I got Max Fosh to come in.
Oh
with me.
yeah, I remember.
I just dressed him up as a pint and was like, this would be funny. But then I got there and like Stephen Trice was there, Nico was there, and I was like, oh. Zach and Jay walked in with 2 alpacas, and I went, I fucked it.
You just got someone dressed as a pint.
I thought this was just a little thing. Never mind. But yeah, we were scared upstairs, but it went well.
Yeah, one thing I will say about that shoot is I met you that day, I met Lauren that day, and we've all I feel like it was a good way to bring loads of the female creators together.
Yeah, because that was like the only kind of ones at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like now everyone's stayed in contact since then.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. But like, there was none of like the TikTokers at the time either. There's no like.
No, because this
If
was
it was
before.
now,
Well,
there'd
it
be
wasn't
so
before
many.
TikTok, but it was before
Back in
lockdown.
the day, girls.
And lockdown is TikTok.
Oh
so.
yeah. Christ, no, that was bizarre. Because that was like 3 years ago.
Was this the one where
Years
did
ago.
JJ throw money at you?
Yeah.
And you
we
took
both
it
have
all?
our viral moments from that.
Yeah, we do. I'm still reminded of that.
Some better than others. Yeah, no, he threw it at me, but it was supposed to like rain down, but it just came as a lump. And I was so scared that I didn't move. So I just went,
Right.
and I was like, do I pick it up? And they were like, no. I was like, okay.
Did you pick it up after?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get to keep it?
I did.
Love that.
And I know Freezy was like running around picking it up himself as well. And I was like,
I
you're
would
too
fully
rich.
just take
you're too
it.
rich. Yeah,
I
that
was so
class.
I wasn't nervous before doing it, but you all made me a little bit nervous. I'll be
We're
honest.
like that though.
And when I
especially
got
me
in
too.
there, my tactic, because I get defensive. If I'm nervous, I
Oh,
want to act like
okay.
I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
So I went in there all guns blazing. I was really mean to some of them, and I think I actually said yes to Josh
Yeah.
and yes to Cal Freezy, and they both voluntarily went to no.
They were like, she's too intimidating.
They were like, no, I've had
That's
enough.
class though.
Yeah.
We needed that.
You know.
There was someone else there was someone who said something to me and I can't remember, and it was so funny. I think it was that Emily from Twitch.
Oh,
She
yeah.
said something, she was like, what are you wearing? And I was like, oh.
She was brutal.
She
Loved
was
her.
brutal. But it
That was a
good.
great.
It
That was a great
so
experience. So we became friends from then, and
Yeah.
then during lockdown, I started this YouTuber Sims series.
good. Oh my god.
Do you remember it?
Oh my
And
god.
I made everyone. So I made you as a Sim. We
Els.
had JJ, Cal Freezy.
Yeah,
we had,
Ethan was there.
Ethan was in it. I was in it, but
You
my
were
Sim
in
was
it.
terrible.
She was a nightmare.
She was a nightmare.
Terrible.
And the iconic thing was that you came, well, it was via Zoom because obviously it was lockdown, but you
Oh my
came on
God,
the
I
channel
remember.
and we made you have a baby with JJ.
It was with JJ, wasn't
Yeah.
it? What was the child's name?
I think it was called Bambino. I think we called it
It means
Bambino.
child, isn't it? I was like, you know, it's that point in lockdown where you're like, I don't know what's going on anyway.
Yeah, I was delirious.
So this was so much. That feels like a fever dream.
I know.
Do you remember being like, oh, can you Zoom me to come on this video? And we were like, yeah.
And I was trying to coordinate the Zoom with you also being able to see the gameplay, which was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
Imagine the lagging gameplay half the time.
And look at us now in the
Here
same
we are.
room.
Come out the other side.
My child is how old? A year?
We'll
a
be
year
like
and a
nearly
half.
2 years
God.
probably.
It's just
But
over there.
everyone keeps asking for the return of the series. The Sims are just there chilling at the
God.
moment.
I was so impressed by that. You're too good at
It
the
did
Sims.
take me a while, to be fair.
Yeah.
I love it though.
Wasn't it like a Love Island theme house? Was that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I did make the whole
See,
Love
I do
Island
pay
villa.
attention.
And then I made the Love Islanders into Sims as well, which is actually really
I've not seen
embarrassing
that one.
because I now have to see them in person, and I know that
I
I've
made
made
you in
them.
the
I was like, I
game.
made you as a Sim, and I narrated your
Oh,
life.
No, but it's class.
No.
Like I remember I did The Sims in lockdown as well, but it was like just YouTubers, and it's so funny when you know them and like what they're doing. You're like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And like streaming that was so funny. They had like True Geordie just drowned in a pool, and I was like, imagine that
Imagine
in
that.
real life, be awful. God's sake. Yeah, Sims is fun.